welcome, everyone. Here we are again, just when you thought it was safe. We've got a new season coming up. But before we move on to that, we should really introduce our guests, shouldn't we, Chris?
Oh, we should indeed. Yeah, we have to talk about the season before,
Yeah.
and the final that seems so long ago now. To be honest, it seems a lifetime ago. Yes. So joining us tonight, we've got Colin and we've got Conrad, and they are going to discuss the Big Sky Bowl and the result therein. Yeah. So handing over to you, Colin and Conrad.
Well, thanks for inviting us on. Conrad, I'll let you go first as the 83rd winner on the trot, I think it is now. So, congratulations, well done.
Oh, cheers. No, well, let's face it, this one was absolute coin toss at the end. And I look and think, like, we won turnover battle 3-0, but we were outdone the yards was quite close, wasn't it? But we were outdone, and first downs and everything, we were outdone. But it just came down to that so close at the end where we fell behind. And let's face it, like, not many times fourth quarter we've fallen behind in the last 2 minutes. And then that fabulous kind of last 2-minute drive. And I think it was, if I look at it and think the win for that one, when we were 30-27 down, it was 3rd and 4 with just about a minute left. And it said power sweep Emu for a 5-yard TD. But I think the key on that one, on the commentary, it said Chapelon has the Rivets offense fired up on the play. And that was it. And fired up means, automatic first down, automatic, which here was a score. So Emu might have run for nothing on that play, but because Chapelon with his leadership fired up the team, then it was an automatic score. And that was the winning score. And I kind of think his leadership, he's got one leader, but because we're like bitter rivals, whatever it built up over the years, his leadership impact was kind of multiplied. And also, I'd saved the talk it up for the bowl game, which again doubled the chance. So it meant that near the end, if we had the ball and he had a chance, we had a really good probability of being able to kind of drive it down and score. And fortunately for us, he did. And then, but it was one of those things that coin toss on, wasn't it? Such a close game.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It was fun to watch. I thought I had you for 2 minutes, and it was just like, stop him doing this. No, stop him doing that. Stop him. Oh, bollocks. But it was tremendously well played. It was good fun right to the end. Getting close, but what can I say? Some good performances throughout the team, but you were just too good for me again. So again, congratulations. What's that? Is that 8 on the trot?
Now that is 9.
9.
We'll go. This is definitely the final one that we're going for, because the aging is just like this season in particular. I look back and the aging roll it's actually the second highest that's ever in the history of the Rivets, but it's kind of knocked down pretty much all our key players. Have just had kind of 5, 6, 7 levels off them. Yeah. So this is the last one we'll be able to try. So after that, we'll give it our best shot, but we'll go into rebuild after this season no matter what. But it's gonna be tough. I think the indication is, do you know that the famous 5, 10, 20s?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Well, in bowl runs over history, we peaked. The very, very best one come bowl game was, I think, I'm just having a look, 18, 17, 13 in the season 32, and with 39 double figures. And that was a beast of a team at that point. And then last year end, we ended 17, 15, 13. And we'll go into this season 15, 12, 10, and 22 players in double figures. And even if coaching goes brilliantly, we'll end at best hope 15, 13, 11 with 26 double figures.
So it's really going to be down to your coaching or your game planning then.
So we'll just have to game plan, gamble loads on the game planning throughout the season and stuff. But it's like, in terms of starters, Yeah, we're down to a couple of single figure level starters on offense. Defense has, yeah, there's out of our main core starters, 1, 2, 3 of them are now single figure levels.
Is that why you've been so active recently, the last 3 or 4 days? I see in the trade.
Honestly, they're all like, it's hilarious because they're all like level 7s and level 6s, because it just gives a bit of emergency depth. But it's all about now, because I want to save the season 41 picks because we're going to be rebuilding. So we can trade out some stuff for next year, but it's yeah, we'll go for it. But yeah, team strength wise, it's we're getting a bit too old now. But yeah, they'll go for it one more try. But I think defensively we should be pretty strong, but the offense has just got absolutely mullered. So yeah.
I think sorry for
just bear with me, guys. Haven't we heard this before?
Will's slowly smiling. But to be fair, Conrad, your event has never been top notch. It's your special teams that gets you halfway, 60% down the field, and your offense has only got to move the ball 10 yards, 8 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards, and you're in with a field goal.
Exactly. Yeah. So, no, definitely.
I think the key thing will be your kicker. If you kick a half a decent level, I think you'll still put some points up. But you never know. You never know. With a good I had a very good defense, and I couldn't stop you.
Last year we having the kind of like Chapelon, Emu, Ruggs, that QB running back wide receiver combo, that was so hard for anyone to stop, because it's that thing of you stack up on the run and Ruggs would just pick you off on the deep passes. But all 3 of those have been hit quite a lot, particularly Emu and Ruggs. So yeah, they'll never reach those kind of highs that they reached in the past. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see on that. Special teams, yeah, because again, like, at the peak, it's been amazing. I think Todd might have put something on one of the boards, didn't he? Or on the WhatsApp. Like, if you've got level 9, 10 type guys, it's fantastic for special teams and stuff. And yeah, this year we're going to be 8, 7 guys, so that won't help. And then poor old Gazelle got quite badly hit with a e-roll or whatever, so he's kind of lost a lot of levels. So we'll try and coach him up a bit. But so we need those special teams though, and Bayron's in good shape though, so we need him to kind of working his magic kind of thing. But our kicker's level 8 is our best kicker we got at the moment. So
my lord!
But it's yeah.
So you've been getting closer and closer, Colin. Do you reckon this could be your year?
I've not. I should have done some trading. I haven't looked at my team, and I've missed the last week of the draft for personal reasons. So I might need to do a bit of trading. But I'm just having a quick look at my team because I haven't looked at it for 3 weeks. So I kid you not. I'm just looking at the role, and I'm very pleased that I don't think my quarterback or my dodgy running back that nobody likes has gone down. So let me just have a quick look at my aging role. No, Escobar didn't lose a level.
No way. Oh my God.
No.
That's great news for the rest of us.
Yeah, we're really encouraged now.
Oh, sorry, Ibney lost 1 level. So
heartbreaking.
I need more centres. I need more centres. I think I was done by my centre last year with an knee injury in the final.
That was the thing. You had those injuries before the final, but it's that thing of because they came so late in the season, you had no time for anyone to recover, and so that's just brutal when that happens that way. And
I don't complain about it. It is what it's the same for everybody. I nearly did it with the injuries, and that would have been awesome if I had done. But I'm getting closer.
Getting closer.
Like I've lost by a field goal. Now I've been in the lead for a bit.
Chris, so you and I talk about the wooden bowl and how we feel at the other end of the scale.
It's these giddy heights. Then I get a nosebleed when these two start talking because I haven't got a clue.
I know. Just by the way, what is 18? Is that the maximum you can go to, Chris?
18.
A level 18 player.
I didn't know.
That's how many double figures he's allowed to have.
It's obscene. It's obscene. It really is. So anyway, Chris, you sort of retraded everything in the world, gave up all draft pick last season. How did you feel it went last season for you, mate?
Oh, look how well it works out for me. What was I, 5-5?
Yep, best you've been for a long time. Yeah.
Well, thanks for that, Kev.
I'm just jealous.
No, to be fair, I mean, I gambled. It didn't pay off. I lost some close games. The Rapiers, the first loss was what really damaged me. By the end of the season, when I lost at the beginning, it was all over anyway, so it didn't really matter. But I lost a couple of close games that stopped me winning the division. And you know, you don't make the playoffs, and that's what you're hoping for. You know?
Yeah.
I don't suppose I'd have gone far into the playoffs, but
yeah. So what's the plan this year then? Are you following through on that, or you?
You know, it's so hard to because the level of coaching is so high in the league.
Yeah.
You kind of think that you're optimistic at the start of each season, but I look then at my schedule and I look at the teams I'm playing, and I'll be lucky if I finish 5-5 again. You know,
Yeah.
because it's the quality of the coaching that you're up against, as well as the the roster they've got. So it is what it is. The main thing is it's added a little bit of enjoyment by actually having some offense.
Yeah. Now, Conrad, you've been around, and Colin, you've both been around for quite a while. Do you feel that the league, or the coaches within the league, the coaching within the league, is coming up a bit? Because what I did see in the draft, for example, is we used to always have a stupid first round or a stupid second round pick. We don't seem to be having that now. If you look at the draft, they're all what I would call pretty good picks from nearly everybody in the league. What's your view on how things are going?
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. Really, I think it's the way that I think it gets noticed as well is when you get to those lower rounds in the draft.
Yeah,
in that you go back 5, 6, 7 seasons, then say around 6, around 7 even, you can pick up players who you think, how on earth have they dropped there?
Yeah.
And that just doesn't happen anymore. I remember a while back, I think it was like high round 7. I was right near the top of round 7. I'm sure it was
have to be round 7 because that's the only pick you would ever have.
I know. Well, this went back a while, and I'm sure I picked him because I didn't at the time think, okay, that was my focus, but he was a 60 quick OT, and he was like level 5. And then put him on development squad, and he became 65 quick or whatever. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, that's kind of, but that just doesn't happen now. And if you look at the recent draft and in effect the players who were being left to be picked in those bottom couple of rounds, it was anyone who was kind of spicier and nicer. They just didn't sneak through. There just wasn't that at all, which is a real testament to just everyone kind of being able to draft well and find that there's gaps. And then you get slightly crazy picks like mine, which I'm still not sure why I did that level 3 kicker in round 4, but we'll see.
We shall see. Yeah,
we'll see what he develops into.
I do remember the comment was, "What's Conrad up to now?"
Yes, no, absolutely. I've seen what Colin's kicker can do with stopping conversions if he kicks it out the back of the end zone, and 65 strong because you can't.
60 strong kicker is going to kick a lot out the back of it.
Yeah,
it doesn't affect much the level. The level only really affects field goal chances. But it does, and it's really good at kickoffs, getting it close to the end zone and beyond, which is good for touchbacks. But I agree also with Conrad. I think that the league has improved tremendously. I go into every game thinking, how am I going to win this? I don't just think I'm just going to leave it the same. I actually have to be really cautious and take a while to think about what I need to do to defend the team I'm playing against. And before, you'd sort of take games as, this one, I'll win this without much thought, and you could do it. But nowadays, even in big high-scoring games, it's 2 interceptions and there's a 21-point swing, and you're like, oh my, I was 2 scores up, now I'm a score behind. I think.
Yeah. And I think as well with the coach, I think it is the coaches themselves getting better and more astute. If you do have an injury, by God, you have to think about how you're going to work your way around that injury. because you're not going to get a dead easy game that you can sort of walk through, if you know what I mean.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. And I think, and like the bowl game, again, it illustrated poor Colin week before the bowl, getting your centre 50% injured or whatever.
Yeah.
Just brutal. Because then all game defensively, we can do different stuff because we know the inside run is going to be so much weaker. So we just like playing nickel and dropping everyone back all the time because you've just got that extra ability to kind of game plan because the other team's got those injuries. So yeah, it's everyone's looking out, I think, for those kind of things, which is really good.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's one of the keys. Sorry, Kev.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
One of the keys to that game was the pressure you were putting on as well, because how many sacks did you get? You got so many sacks and so many fumbles, and that was key in the game.
Yeah, 3 fumbles, I agree. But when your centre's playing at, I don't know, giving my levels away, he's playing at under 10. He was marginally better than my backup, so I played him because he's got experience, and why not? It's a toss-up. He was marginally better by 0.05 than the backup, so we played him. It just, as Conrad, we've spoken before about it, it just allowed him to put that pressure on. And you've also got that, because you're playing nickel against the centre, you've got that one-on-one pressure, the nose tackle versus the centre. Under normal circumstances, my centre doesn't get much pressure on him because he's quite a high level. But and that's a great thing because it stopped it. When there's a random thing, there's 1 to 5 levels every game. It's like a random roll, and if the difference between the centre and the nose tackle is more than that 1 to 5 number, it creates big pressure, which goes on to incompletes, it goes on to other things, plus the inevitable decrease in pass protection that the centre provides, and centres do provide a lot of pass protection in that offensive line. So just that injury allowed the pressure to go onto the one guy and allow Conrad to do that little bit more, but there's nothing could be done. I didn't have the strength in depth to do it. But as Conrad knows, he's had that one player where if he got injured previously, it would be a big hole in his offense or defense, but he's managed to either avoid it or just skirt around it. But it is what it is. I'm not complaining about it. I was almost there with the injuries, and they are part and parcel of the game. I didn't have the worst injuries in the game in the whole season, so I'm not complaining at all. It was we put up a really tight game with it, so I was really proud how we performed.
Yeah, that was good, mate. It was very good. So moving forward, your good 2 selves should probably be there or thereabouts. But who else do you think will be in the mix at the end of the season? Is it the usual suspects? Are we looking for a few come through? What's your feelings, Cole?
I'm going to say I'm at a loss because I've not looked at anything but the usual suspects in the LFC East, Patrick and the Fire, and perhaps Ian and Lee.
Yeah. Lee's been busy in the trade the last few days. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I think they're always quite dangerous. Patrick's again 9-1.
Yeah.
And then in the north, yourself, 66 is they're just a miserly defense. So you'll get some close games with them, and the Wolverhampton Wanderers. They looked strong last year and the year before, as did the Massive. I think the challenge is going to come in the PFC West. There just looks to be 3 strong teams in that division. So I just hope it's a good fun for everybody and that we all enjoy it and have a good laugh.
Yeah, well, I'm sure.
And keep engaged for this season, so we, at least everybody does the coaching, so a team doesn't get left in limbo. Because when somebody leaves early in the season, that just affects the division for a long, many seasons. So I'm hoping that everybody stays engaged and supports Rich and Rich in getting the game moving forward smoothly next season.
Yeah, Conrad, what about your good self? Who you're ones to watch, as it were? Well, that's apart from Chris and I, obviously.
Of course. I think in Colin's conference, the one just to me that stands out by a mile is Patrick's fire.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
like
that bloody quarterback. Shut up.
well, it's just crazy what he's got. But if you think what he had that took him to 9-1 and almost to a bowl appearance,
Yeah.
and then this off season, I know because I went for a lot of the players that he ended up getting. Like he's gone for it. So he's paid, honestly, just historically expensive prices for a number of players and more than typically that player might have gone for, but he's got them as a result. So he's added really good, really great players into his team. So looking at it, crikey, if he was brilliant last year, then if they have aged okay and he's added all this extra strength, then you could see again that kind of Fire v Giant Hornets kind of real sort of championship game at that side. In the
is there a case of kicking him back to the Atlantic then?
Definitely on that. I can't believe it. Just like he really. I'd be shocked if star ratings come out if it's not lots of stars and if it's not extremely strong as a roster when he's got that. I'd be absolutely shocked. It's kind of he's really added a lot of good players there. In the PFC, Titans, like they were good last year, but again, they look to have added a few select gems on top, and they're going to be really, really strong. I don't know if the Packers, who traditionally, of course, been very strong, whether they'll be quite strong this year, because from their trade boards, it looks as though quite a few veterans have gone out and decent level veterans, and unless these young players have really come through, which they might have done. And then, kind of Rapiers, who knows? Chris, he won't impact you hugely this year, but that elite running back who you traded in, he's going to be really fun the year after in particular. So come end of the season, he'll be really useful. But blimey, next year when he's kind of finished coaching up, he'll be fantastic for that, just bulldozing. So that'll be interesting. But it's I kind of think LFC, Fire, Giant Hornets probably needs to be. PFC in our half, Titans, I'd be shocked if they're not kind of, again, they were really strong roster on the ratings and stuff, on the training camp report, stuff like that last year. Be shocked if they're not right at the top of the rankings again this year, and then it's kind of where everyone else stands relative to that.
Yeah. So Chris, are you all set with your staff all set up and your roster all set up and your development squad all set up?
I'm about as set up as I can be. Yeah. I had an interesting conversation the other day on the WhatsApp group with Phil, and we were talking about the MIAs, and I think maybe to a degree I've neglected those a little bit. I haven't necessarily picked horses for courses every time I've selected staff, and looking at that, Phil sort of hinted that maybe that was costing me, particularly in the coaching, obviously, bringing players through. So I've had to re-look at that.
Do you use your maximum MSPs, whatever the heck they are, on that?
No, I'm still getting there.
Yeah.
I've still got a couple of coaches to hire, but in every other sense, I'm ready to go. Development squad sorted, everything's ready. I can't wait to lose.
So how do you approach the coaching then, Conrad? Sorry, mate. How do you approach the getting staff in?
I think it's kind of been that balance of if trying to get the motivation coach to kind of who uses a lot of points to kind of have that motivation, but like this season, I think probably more just actually we're just going to accept we'll have low motivation until we lose a couple of games, because we've lost again because lots of levels we need the coaching to be good. So so I'll pay more for coaches or whatever, but I kind of find I come up with a coaching plan before the start of the season,
right? And
then if there's a particular area, whether it be DBs, O-line or whatever, that looks as though I need to coach it a lot more, then that's where I try and get the best coach, look at the availability and see if there's a few good ones at that particular spot, and then I'll just overbid, try and get them on that. That's historically how I've done it. So at least then I know if there's an area that is desperate for for levels to get back up, that there's a good coach there. Whether they pop or not is then random, but at least you know you're kind of giving them a good helping hand on
Yes.
that.
Yeah. I mean, Chris, do you favour certain positions with coaches, or do you?
I got to be honest. In the past, I've been guilty of coaching a particular position rather than a particular players. So because you've got the coach oversight,
Yeah.
you know, and I've tended to make the mistake maybe of coaching backups more than I should, when I should have been coaching starters more. So I've had a tendency to sort of concentrate my efforts on, for 1 week it will be O-line, and you know, the next week it might be receivers. And then I've sort of blanketed them because I've got coach oversight, and it obviously takes it up to a 10. And I might be too guilty of that, I think, you know, because I've been coaching up players who are never going to start, you know, and at the end of the day, it's your starters that make the difference. I know if you get injuries and all the rest of it that you need backups, but if your starters aren't of a high enough level, you're not going to compete in the first place.
Yeah. So how do you do it, and Cole? What's your sort of? Because I know you have some special, what I call specialised positions, where you know, you've got a core running through your team, as you said, the centre, the quarterback, the running back, etc., etc. So is that where you put your coaching, as it were? You know, you have level 10 coaches in there, or?
No, not really. I just look where my key best players are, the key best positions. So, say the defensive tackle, the defensive end, middle linebacker or outside linebacker, depending who you're playing and what they're favouring. And I just go for I don't really spend overly on coaches. The 60-20-20 over the 30-40-40 ones make a slight difference, but you're talking like point something of a percent. And I just try and have a coach in every position to just boost it up. But I just tend to coach players. So if I've got a weak area, I coach the weak areas.
Right.
If I've got the way I play the offense, there's certain players that I need to be at certain levels to get it to do what I want to do, to get the optimizer to grab things and do it. So I do like a coach with the running back receiver specialism, so I can link them up, because that gives extra bonuses as well. So I like that one. And generally, you can only have one of those in the team. Otherwise, it's a random which one gets done. So I generally prefer the running back one, because that makes a big difference for the running back receiver, which is my main mode of attack. And other than that, I just like leadership where I can get it, especially on defence, as Conrad said. When he got the winning play to get his touchdown, quarterback leadership. I had 2 leaders, I think, on the defence, or at least the middle linebacker leader.
Duly noted, Cole. Didn't you draft one with a 3 leadership?
I drafted an offensive guard with 3 leadership. Yes, because in those key games, it does make a difference. The quarterback makes the biggest difference, and that's usually never overridden if I know the rules properly. So if 2 of them trigger, so an offense and a defense triggers, the quarterback usually takes precedence. So yeah, I just try and keep all the positions full. The first one you need, unless you've got a really big set of numbers, you need a motivation coach, because it's really difficult to give up 20 odd levels for everybody, a level each, and then still try and come out on top. It's almost impossible. So yeah, you just take it as it comes. You can't always bid for the best ones. You just have to try and get a decent one for a reasonable price.
Yeah. And just before we sort of wind it all up, just to remind everyone that college is usually 2 weeks behind. I think I'm correct in saying, but again, it's probably time we started all having a little look at, getting our squads, our rosters, and even our game plans sort of in line, so that when we start the very first game, Rich and Rich aren't spending like 2 days trying to sort out everyone's game plan. Because I think one of the dangers that we have is with such a long hibernation, as it were, during the summer, a lot of people, myself included, a bit like you, Colin, I haven't looked at it for about 2 or 3 weeks because
Thanks for reminding me.
but you just get caught up so much in real life. And then you sort of go, oh, whereas we were, I think all of us got ourselves into a routine where it's, it's Monday night, I must coach my team, or it's Tuesday, or I must do this, or Sunday, whatever day you choose. But we're all out of that. But I think it's important that we all sort of start to try and get back into that. Otherwise, Rich and Rich are going to have one hell of a problem restarting the game, as it were. But,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, Chris, you got anything to add, sir, before we wind it all up?
The only thing I would like to point out is that we haven't talked a lot about the draft, basically because pretty much most of the coaches nailed it. There was nothing to criticise. I think nobody's made the cock-ups that they have done in the past. Me included.
Ourselves included, yes.
Yeah. So I think it was a very good draft. The first round was very strong. Second round was quite strong as well. But everybody did what you'd expect them to do. But I will give a shout out to Ben Duggan, because for all he had a lot of picks, mainly mine, but he had a lot of picks. If you look at the players that he picked, his rebuild should go quite quickly, quite smoothly, because he picked up a lot of good players in those first few rounds. And if they coach up, it won't be long before he's back at all. But he was the standout as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were quite some good ones, but again, because Ben had half of your picks, but that's the beauty. Yeah, but that's the beauty of the draft. It can regenerate a team, as Conrad, God bless you, mate. You're going to find out shortly.
Yeah.
But without that draft and without saving your draft picks, as it were, but there comes a point where, if you look at your development squad, you've either got to go for perfect QST. There's only a certain number of high-level, low QSTs, if you like, that you can go for, because the development squad ain't that big. So it will be interesting, because what Ben did, I think I'm right in saying, Chris, was the QSTs were pretty sharp as well, weren't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They were quite high level. He didn't seem to worry so much about whether they were quality. He was more concerned with the level in the first instance and the QST being perfect.
Yeah.
And he picked up a lot of good players. So it'll be interesting to see how that works out for him.
Yeah. I mean, my problem when I do the draft is I see a player and I think, I could stick him on the development squad and he'd be fantastic. But I've already got two players that I already thought from last year I'd stick on the development squad this year, and you sort of realize you're running out of development places. So, but it was a good draft. My own personal feeling was that the draft itself was weak in terms of quality of players. It ran out fairly quickly. Once you got to round 4, round 5, you were really starting to struggle a little bit as to who do I really pick here. But then I think we all probably always say that, to be honest. Right, gentlemen, I would like to take this opportunity of thanking everyone for coming along.
Thank you.
It's great to see us all. Hopefully we'll all get back into the swing. As you say, nobody will leave us, and we'll all be a very united front, as it were. Colin, thanks for coming along, mate. Much appreciated.
Thanks, Gary. Nice to see you.
And hope you have mercy on your Glasgow Rushmores when we meet. Conrad, lovely to see you, mate. Fresh from your travels around the bloody world. And Chris, as usual, mate, what would we do without you, eh?
Well, I must just point out that very soon, very shortly, there will be another bloody trophy. Yeah, but this time it's coming through the window behind your head. So that'll be going out to you shortly.
Cheers, Chris, and thanks again. And cheers, Conrad. Well played on 9 on the trot. Outstanding.
Yeah, well done, guys. Everyone take care. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Cheers.